Another 10 questions on program lifecycle domain for your PgMP exam certification. If you are already following our series, then you know what is the process. I pick up the 10 questions and help you in navigating towards the answer. Today, we are starting from the question number 41 from a program lifecycle domain perspective. If you missed seeing our older videos, you may check the playlist. You can find the link in the description of this particular video. Let's start with question number 41. A software development program is underway with multiple projects running concurrently. One of the projects identifies a risk related to a new technology integration. After further analysis, the program manager suspects that this risk may also impact other projects within the program, although the risk has a lower degree of impact and probability of occurring. What should the program manager do first? You can expect many risk management kind of questions in your PgMP exam. And we need to understand that risks which are coming at a program level need to be taken care well. At the same time, the project level risk management is also going to be a continued activity. Let's explore the option. Option A, escalate the risk to a program management office since it has a potential of impacting more than one project. Doesn't make much sense. Yeah, if it is impacting more than one project, then I need to take care of it. I am the program manager. What PMO has to do here? PMO is a support function. PMO can sometimes do auditing and controlling kind of activities as well, can help me in doing some kind of resourcing related to various projects and other components happening there. But for this particular matter, usually in a PgMP exam, I don't have to jump for a PMO because PgMP exam is for the program manager. Until unless there is an explicit hint that I need to go somewhere else, I will focus on a program manager only. So I ignore the option A. Communicate the risk to all project managers to manage at the component level. Now, many of us coming as a project manager may think like that, okay, if you have identified the risk, this risk gonna happen at a multiple project. Why don't I forward the email to many projects and tell them that guys, be aware this risk can occur? Looks like a decent idea, but in general, when the impact is happening to a multiple projects, this is something I need to take care. It becomes a program level risk. Let's see if we don't get anything, then we can come back to B, but else we don't want to select the B option. Option C, add the risk details and analysis to the program risk register. Definitely I need to do, and then I will take care of this risk further because it has an impact at a program level. Option D, brainstorm with the project managers to develop an appropriate risk responses. It's more like B only. B is saying that I will tell them. C is saying I will work with them. So again, the reminder is we need to take care of the risks which are impacting more than one component of your program at a program level, because we need to take care of compounding of the risk, and at a compound effect may be far bigger than the effect which is happening on the individual components. So looking at that parameter, we select the option C as the right option for this particular question. This particular question, I am mapping to task number 30, manage risk and the risk management plan as per the risk management plan to ensure the benefit realization. You do get 6-7 questions where you will smell risk related topics in the exam, and it is also mapped to executing the appropriate program management plan, because you will have a sections of the program management plan talking about quality, risk, communication, resourcing, scope, all those kind of program lifecycle activities you have learned in your PgMP class or with the help of program management standard. They will be mostly mapping to the task 21, where we implement those program lifecycle activity as per the plan. So that way I'm mapping these two questions, these two tasks here. You will see these tasks coming frequently in this particular episode. So that's where we will see most of the questions pointing to. Question number 42. During a program health check review, the program manager presented the top 5 risks for discussion with stakeholders. Some stakeholders argue that 3 of the risks should be managed directly by the program manager and not discussed in the review, while others support discussing all 5 risks. The disagreement highlights different perception of risk among stakeholders. What should be the program manager do next? So we are basically thinking about that why we are bringing these many risks here. Now, why should I bring it? I have an agreement as per my risk management plan. We have an agreement related to our governance plan that something which is of X level need to be discussed at a health check. Below that, it can be taken care by the program manager. That's how we do. Now, here seems to be that most likely I have followed that rule. There is a possibility I have not followed the rule, but that thing is not coming out in a very clearly in the question. I have followed the rule, and then still people are saying, some of them are saying, why do we have to discuss these kind of things in the review? That's the situation. Let's see the options. Option A, revisit the program risk management plan and governance plan immediately to clarify how risks are qualified for discussion and the thresholds are defined for inclusion in the program health check. So makes some sense. Yeah, possible. I can do it. The only thing is, do I need to open up this conversation right now only or after the health check? Yeah. I definitely want to review the program risk management plan and governance plan. So it's a good candidate option. Yeah. If we don't find anything else, I can come back to the option A. Looks good. Option B, limit the discussion on the top 4 risks to strike balance between stakeholder concern and transparency. So it's like a compromise of a conflict. Yes, we have a conflict here. Yeah, you can think this particular question from the dimension of conflict also. Some stakeholders are asking for all risks, some stakeholders are not asking for it. We need to do a problem solving. We need to do a collaboration. We need to go into a working agreement that what should we really do, rather than, oh, you are saying something, let me discuss with you, let me agree with you. That is not going to help us in running the program to achieve the benefits for which the program has been initiated. So it's not about pleasing people. It's not about agreeing at some level. So I definitely don't want to go to option B. Option C, take a vote among stakeholders and proceed with the majority decisions on which risk to be discussed. So it is, again, not a right thing to do. It's a little better than compromise directly. You are choosing 4 out of 5. But we can have a consensus or a brainstorming to look into our risk management plan, to define the risk thresholds and the governance plan, to understand what kind of things need to be brought into which all governance events. But voting directly in the health check meeting is little odd. Yeah. So B and C I can easily ignore. A is a good candidate option. Let's see the C. Request stakeholder to review the current risk as per the agreement outlined in the governance plan and log an issue to revisit the risk management and governance plan for future alignment. So now we can think about closely discussing the difference between A and D. So right now we can see that there is a conflict and the issue has arisen. There is an issue where there is a disagreement between the type of risk we should be discussing in our health check meeting. Now, should as a program manager, I acknowledge the issue and continue with my health check and say that we will revisit this particular thing as per this open issue, and next time we will do as per our agreement. That's a option D. Option A is saying, let's open up the risk management plan and governance plan and talk about what should we do and let's discuss that. Yeah, that's the option A. So you can disagree, but my personal opinion is, when you are basically focusing on a particular review as a program manager, project manager, I focus on that agenda. I am facilitating a particular event. And if something is drifting me from that particular goal, I basically make a parking lot, make an issue log and say, yeah, this is an important thing, but not this meeting to discuss this. Yeah. Probably we continue as per our previous working agreement as of now. And for next time onward, let's open up the issue and we will take care of it as per that issue. And that's the reason I go with option D, not with option A. Yeah. So this was a question number 42, and I am mapping to the same task 30, task 21, and task 27 as well, because we need to manage the issue. Because in the answer, I am talking about the issue. The question was talking about stakeholder related relationship as well, conflict as well, a topic of following the risk management plan as well, topic of ensuring that we are following and doing the project as per the program management plan and project management plans. Yeah, so we're ensuring that consistency of the projects and program management plan is there. That is also coming. It's a pretty much touching many tasks, but I could pick up 3 for just making a little connect for this particular question. Question number 43. A program consists of 3 projects each led by a project manager accountable for their deliverables. Obviously, during a program review, a subject matter expert approaches the program manager and express concern that one of the project manager lacks sufficient subject knowledge and is unable to identify technical risk effectively. The SME suggests that risk may not be adequately addressed. What should the program manager do next? So, in your practical life, I believe you may face these kind of situation pretty often. Yeah. So there are stakeholders who always have a concern about the ability of a project manager for that particular project, and especially people who are coming from a technical background. This guy doesn't understand technology; he's unable to handle thing. I'm concerned. Yeah, and they are raising the concern to a program manager because they believe if this guy project manager can't handle things, probably program manager will do something about it. Yeah. So stakeholder engagement is a topic, risk is a topic, and the review meeting is a topic, and ability of a project manager is a topic. So multiple aspects coming together in question number 43. Let's see what should the program manager do next. Coach the subject matter experts on the role in risk identification, emphasizing that risk management is a shared responsibility. Looks good. Yeah, to me at least looks good. Let's see. Yeah. Maybe I can find out a little better. Maybe I can discuss what makes him say so. I can do a little bit empathy and then I can get into coach. But A is looking good as of now. Option B, take over the responsibility of identifying and managing technical risk from the project manager. Okay, you are saying project manager, you can't handle this. I will handle it. Not at all. So in the PgMP exam, you don't want to do the job of project manager. You want to do the roles and responsibility of a program manager. If you get into doing the job of a project manager, then you will miss your roles and responsibility as a program manager. So I should be always keeping this note in mind that I don't have to override what my project managers are doing. So I definitely don't want to go with option B. Option C, assign the subject matter experts to identify and manage technical risk for the project in question. Possible. Yeah, that's a possibility. We may have a second level subject matter expert also looking into those technical areas. That is something is coming, but the subject matter expert himself is raising a concern. But C is a candidate thing. I can probably do that. We will explore A and C comparison after some time. Option D, plan training and mentoring for the project manager on technical aspects so they can identify technical risks effectively. I probably do that. Yeah. So I can say I can do A, I can do C, I can do D. Now I have multiple things to do. How do I proceed? Which one I will do first? Yeah. What is the best thing to do with the limited information available? And then I may do C and D later. Yeah. So what I believe is I will do A first and then I will do C and D later. That's what I believe. Why? So say you are talking to someone and we want to reiterate for a PGMP exam that identification of the risk is the responsibility of everyone. Team member should be doing it, stakeholder should be doing it, subject matter should be doing it. I should be talking to the stakeholder and acknowledging that thank you for really caring for this particular project. I appreciate you sharing the concern. At the same time, I want to also inform you that whatever risk you visualize as a technical expert, please report them. And we will have there is a process of reporting and putting them into a risk register. There is a mechanism of doing it. You don't have to wait for a project manager doing it. You should be also able to do it. I will answer that. And at the same time, I may ask if you have some technical suggestion where you want to have a particular technical review, please give it to me. I will probably assign those technical experts. And if you and at the same time, I may also do a little bit skill enhancement of my project manager so that they will be more capable of doing these kind of risk identification. But again, by doing a skill enhancement, I don't expect that the project manager will reach to a level of a subject matter expert and start identifying the risk. That is not going to happen because competencies are very different. So with that particular reason, I go with option A because others requires me to assume few things and I need to choose appropriate sequence. Yeah. That's the question number 43. So yes, it can be mapped to manage tasks. It can be mapped to stakeholder engagement related domain as well, but I'm keeping it little simple. So it's these kind of questions mapped to many things. Question number 44. During an informal meeting, a project stakeholder requests that a project level risk be escalated to program level. However, the risk does not meet the predefined escalation criteria as outlined in a program risk management plan. Yeah, and connected with the project risk management plan should be there. Yeah, ideally. The stakeholder insists that risk require attention from the program manager due to its potential impact on program's benefit. Okay. So, more or less like our previous question, but this is specifically saying this is a risk. I think it cannot be handled at a project level. It should go at a program level. Yeah. Someone is thinking now why they think about it. Maybe they believe it has an impact beyond a project, or they believe it has an impact directly on the benefits which we are expected from the program, not just limited to deliverables and outcome which are coming from the project. So that input you are getting, but at the same time, question is showing that it is not meeting the threshold criteria which you have defined as per the program management plan. Yeah. So let's see. Option A, accept the stakeholder's request and escalate the risk to a program risk register. So usually acceptance and rejections both are not good idea. Whenever something comes to you, you want to look at it. Yeah? You want to acknowledge, you want to analyze. That's a usual thing you do with the stakeholders. Yeah? Though we are touching the risk topic and program life cycle domain more, but this whenever the word stakeholders come, the stakeholder domain also get activated. So why should not be accepting the idea of stakeholder? I should not be rejecting the ideas of the stakeholder. I should be giving it a due importance, due attention. Yeah. And that attention will figure it out. And after giving that attention, we will figure it out what should we do about it. Option B, acknowledge the stakeholder concern, great idea, and assess whether risk warrant program level attention despite not making predefined threshold. Looks all good. So to me, option B is a nice one. Let's see. Option C, explain the established escalation criteria as the standard for decision making and clarify that stakeholders should discuss this matter with the project manager. So say in general, whenever you are dealing with the stakeholder management topic as well, there is a feedback coming in, and you should not say that I'm not the right guy for it, go somewhere else. I need to acknowledge it. I may tell that you probably also want to discuss with them, but I want to give some satisfactory answer at that point in time. Yeah, I'm not. I should not be like keeping myself away and saying, this is not my matter in general. So not a good idea for maintaining a good relationship with the stakeholder, because you need to maintain trust, you need to grow a good relationship so that they support your overall journey and we achieve the program level benefits. Option D, explain to the stakeholder that it's a project level matter, but later discuss the conversation with the project manager. So I see C and D more or less same. You may do many a time like this, yeah, C and D types things. But for exam, I don't think you should be doing it. And even a real word also, it may not be a good idea to push the feedback which is coming and saying stop. Yeah, don't bring it to me. You go somewhere else. Not a good idea. So we only left with A and B. C and D I'm not liking. The A is directly acceptance, not a good idea. So usually whenever something comes up, I need to acknowledge, I need to appreciate, I need to really thank you the stakeholder for really concerning about the program. If they are sharing something, it means they really worried about something. So I appreciate that, and then I take a due course of actions to ensure that we follow our agreed upon plan. And if some deviations are needed, if some adjustments are needed, we do it as per our agreed process of doing those adjustments. So that way, relatively easy. If you just follow the standard stakeholder engagement approaches, then also you will figure it out, this answer. But that's the answer which I want to pick for question number 44. So answer is B. So I'm tagging it with just managing risk as per the risk management plan, but it has many things coming together to talk about the stakeholder and their engagement and the relationship as well. And that's the beauty of the questions which start touching many domain. Because we don't know when the exam is mapping, there will be a report in your PgMP exam where they will tell you your performance against each task. But there is a possibility some questions may get mapped to multiple tasks. Question number 45. During a training session on risk management, a project manager asks the clarification on the difference between risk and an issue. What is the best explanation? So don't consider it as a very simple thing, because if you have done a PMP, risk versus issue, you must have spent good time. Yeah. But that will come again in your program management certification as well. So we understand the risks are uncertain, issues are certain. We understand risks get recorded in a risk register, issues get recorded into issue log. We understand the risks are always futuristic, issues are always present. We understand risk could be positive and negative in a PMI language. Opportunities and threats and issues are usually only negative. So these all differences you need to keep in mind. Usually whenever the issue comes, you try to find out some workaround. Whenever the risks are coming, you try to find out appropriate risk responses. So these things are in your mind. And with that understanding, if you go in the exam, you may get few questions right, just simply understanding the difference between issues and risk. Yeah. Sometimes it can also help you in choosing the appropriate option. When you see the option is the question is clearly talking about risk or issue, then you can discard some of that point which are coming in the option because you understand it's a issue question or a risk question. Now coming back to this question, they are putting a training context. So by putting a training context, they can ask you any project management question because the program manager is expected to mentor and train project managers and team. And when you are mentoring and training project managers and team, you should be knowing that subject. Yeah. So all aspects of your project management is expected to be known by the program manager. And that's why the program management PMI certification expects you to have 4 years of project management experience as well. So coming back, option A risk is an uncertain event that might occur in the future and affect the program objective, while issues is a current problem already impacting the project. Yes, looks good. A risk is a problem that has already occurred. No. Risks are always negative. No. Risks and issues are the same. No. Yeah. So these kind of questions get very easy. Now, why I included it? It's a very easy question in my perspective, but you need to know easy questions as well. We should not be getting into making complicated questions right and missing the easy questions. So we move forward. Yeah, there is a task related to leading human resource function by training, coaching, mentoring, and recognizing the team and improvement and engagement and helping them in achieving program level goals. So with this particular task, anything which can be pointed to educating team member on a soft skill, on project management skills, anything which is expected to be mentoring project manager may fall. Yeah. So this is a task number 19, which is expecting you to do a training, mentoring, and improving your program team. Question number 46. During a program review, a project manager reports that a previously identified project level risk, which was below the escalation threshold, has now occurred. Okay. The impact of the issue exceeded the escalation threshold defined for ongoing issues. What should the project manager do next? Yeah. So let me clarify what I wanted to ask. Yeah, because the question may look a little complicated. Yeah. So I explain. So the situation is like this, that you had a risk and the risk was not meeting the threshold for escalation to a program. Now this risk has become reality. It has occurred. Yeah. So it has become issue. And after becoming an issue, the impact is exceeding your threshold. So risk was not exceeding the threshold, but issue is exceeding the issue escalation threshold. Now, should you escalate it or should you just keep doing it as a project manager and not to escalate to a program manager? That's the question we are asking. Okay, so what's the project manager do? Yeah. Since the risk was identified and it was below the threshold, manage its occurrence at a project level. Yeah, so that seems to be the thing. But see, the idea is, how should we see this particular situation? We should see it that I take a risk and probably mark it a status that it has occurred, and I create a new row in an issue log and do the impact analysis of that issue and start treating the issue as per issue guidance. So that risk which has occurred is no more active in the risk register. It has occurred. It has occurred. I will put the status according to my identified status, but I will not be updating probability and impact on anything anymore there. Yeah. I will now be taking care of these things in the issue. I have created an issue for it. Issues can be there because the risk has occurred. Issues can be there because the new things has been identified. So it's not always necessary to have a risk before for the issue, but once the issue is there, I will take care of the issues. So I have to forget about what was there for the risk, what was the criteria for the risk. I need to just focus on now this is an issue at hand and we need to take care as per the issue guidance. So if that concept is clear, we will be able to find out the option easily. Since the risk has occurred, the impact exceeds the threshold, log into the issue log and escalate to the program management for appropriate action. That's what I believe. Since the risk has occurred, escalate the matter to a program manager immediately regardless of the impact. And no, yeah. So we want to do it as per the appropriate threshold identified into the issue. Reassess the program risk management plan. So A and D are definitely out. Yeah. What I do with the risk management plan? To redefine threshold for the risk and escalate the matter once thresholds are updated. Now, I need to keep it in mind that this thing is an issue for me now. This thing is no more a risk for me. Yeah, that's an important element because it's a reality now. It is not a probable event anymore. If I get that understanding, risk versus issue, I will get many questions right in my PgMP exam. So you do have a task which primarily talk about managing program level issues. Yeah, it could be coming from many areas: human resource, financial, technology, any area of your program management. There could be an issue which you need to take care of it and ensure that we meet our program objectives. Question number 47. Your program includes 3 projects, and to ensure optimal utilization and sharing of resources, you are procuring a module that can be used in 2 of the projects. Using the program work breakdown structure, you have prepared the statement of work, crafted the request for proposal based on the procurement plan template, and shared it with the preferred vendors. What document can you expect from potential vendor in response to your RFP? Now, this may look very simple to many of you who have done project management and procurement topic well, but you can expect good number of procurement related questions, 3, 4, 5 procurement related questions. And just understanding what you have learned in your project management PMP classes is good enough. Yeah, it's more about remembering various terminology, the selected vendor, preferred vendor, qualified vendor, bidder conference, various type of documents like RFPs and proposals, contract, what is the impact of the contract, various type of contract type. So those all things may show up at some level in your program management exam as well. Now, this question is basically trying to see that do you understand what happens once you float an RFP and you have identified the vendors, what possibly things which will come back from the vendors. Yeah, that's possible vendors. So let's see what document can come back as a response to RFP. So you can get a procurement management plan. Definitely not. Procurement management plan helps you in identifying do you need to float an RFP. Technical proposal and financial bids. Yes, you get a proposal. That's the there. So proposal which can have a technical and commercial part of it, or you may have just one word called proposal. So proposal should come out. Statement of work tailored to the vendor's capability. Yeah. As a part of the proposal, there is a possibility they may propose some tailoring to a statement of work. That's a possibility. So say I want A and proposal may come for A dash. Yeah. There is a possibility in my RFP where I strictly say that don't give me a proposal if you want to give A dash. There's a possibility. But in some cases, I may allow some deviation and I want to see what the vendors are proposing. So C could be true, but it's a part of the proposal only. Yeah. Option D, program work breakdown structure and cost estimate. Anyway, it is not something relevant. You don't talk about program work breakdown structure and cost estimate here. Yeah, that is something a not relevant option. So in a way, this is easy. We can go with option B, and this is what we have to choose, technical proposals. So overall, it is just saying execute the, I'm mapping to a task 21, which talks about executing the program as per the program management plan. And you do need to plan your procurement related activities. Usually program manager is expected to be actively involved in the procurement related activities. So if you are not comfortable with the procurement topics, you may want to check some of our videos. We do have a video on procurement contract type. And we do have a typical flow of a procurement video also available, which is generally for project and program. So you can check that as well. Those 2 videos should be good enough to give you sufficient update on how to handle the procurement topics. Question number 48. One of the project with your program is undergoing a significant procurement activity. The project manager has shared the request for proposal with a preferred vendors or a qualified vendors. Vendors have started submitting questions for clarifying about RFP. However, some vendors have raised concerns about the transparency of the process, expressing doubt that all vendors are receiving the same information. What should the program manager do to address these concerns? The question is just trying to understand, do you know various procurement tools and procurement events? And if you know that, the answer is very, very easy. But if not, then it can become a complicated. So the question is simply saying, when you have floated the RFP, when you are getting the responses, when you are clarifying things, how can you make a consistent understanding of your requirement across all the vendors? Yeah. So we know we use a particular event for that, and that event should be coming as an option, and that's the answer. Let's see. Option A, ask the project manager to respond to vendors' queries individually, ensuring each vendor's concerns are addressed privately. Yeah. So if I do it, I'm anyway not answering the concern which is coming in the question. So definitely not a good idea because it is not pointing to the solution. Option B, advise the project manager to collect vendors' concern in writing and provide written responses to each vendor separately to maintain confidentiality. Yeah. So a little bit different, but more or less same. A and B. The B is specifically talking about let's have all written documents. Yeah. So that we can ensure that everything is confidential, but we will still reply to them one by one. Option C, coach the project manager to schedule a bidder conference. So that's the keyword we are looking for, to provide a centralized forum for addressing all vendors' questions and clarifying RFP details and ensure transparency and fairness in the process. So that's the term we were looking for. You know that bidder conference is something which is a tool. So it should be the right answer. Let's see option D. Direct the project manager to reassess the RFP document, modify if it is needed, and resend to the all vendors with the additional details to address any perceived gaps. So it is saying that let's have a new version of RFP. A possible solution though, but we focus on the word which is frequently used, an event which is primarily made for this concern, because we understand it's an exam question. It is not something checking me on a real word. So I just need to follow the thing which are more familiarly used in a procurement topic. So I will go for organizing a bidder conference. I recommend as a program manager to the project manager to organize a bidder conference. I can also do it, but it is a project matter, so probably they can handle it that way. And I'm mentoring them. I'm responsible for mentoring, coaching my project managers. So overall, this is mapping to a question number 20. Review the project manager's performance in executing the project as per the plan to maximize the contribution to achieve the program goal. So I need to demonstrate my ability to fix the project related issues, to mentor my project manager, to guide him all the time, train him. And that's why I should be showing expertise in project management topic as well when I'm doing PgMP exam. Question number 49. You are the program manager of a digital transformation program that includes developing a customer relationship management system. As a part of the program's procurement strategy, you need to decide whether to develop the CRM module in-house using internal resources or procure it from external vendor. You have estimated that buying the module will cost 250,000 while making it in-house will cost 300,000. The procurement management plan explicitly states that decision should be based on cost. Yeah. So pretty simple question in a way, if I just get the terminology right, if I don't get confused seeing the words here and there, it's simply asking how do you make or buy decision? How do you make or buy decision? That's the thing. And your procurement management plan should be guiding it. Procurement management plan should be laying out criteria which should be used to make or buy decision. Now, if the question is not explicitly saying, in this question, I put explicitly clause where I'm saying that we should be making make or buy decision based on the cost. Sometimes you may not have that clear question, but if the cost information is given, I will focus on using cost information only for making the make or buy decision. So here it is easy. So we know the buying is cheap and making is expensive. So I just need to buy it. Simple. Yeah. So that's the option I have to look for. Option A, procure the module externally as it is more cost efficient, even if the savings are marginal. Yes, I will go for it. Let's see other options. Since the cost of difference is not significant, develop the module in-house to retain the control over the work. So if the options are indicating some other parameters which are not coming as a make or buy decision parameter, why should I consider it? Control of the work was not considered as a make or buy decision. So I don't have to worry about it. Sometimes you feel, it's just a 50,000 difference. Why don't I make it myself? Difference could be even a 10,000 also. The criteria is criteria. Yeah, I should not be overlooking the criteria. Option C, ask the recommendation from one of the project manager to revisit the in-house estimate and justify making the module internally. So this is something not making the decision and saying, project manager, can you come with a better estimate? Can you bring it less than 250,000 so that we can do it in-house? Yeah. you may do in your real world, but not for the question and the exam. The question is simply asking you to make a make or buy decision. Don't put your mind beyond that. Yeah? So that's something you should not be thinking. Option D, postpone the decision and revisit the procurement management plan to redefine the make or buy parameters. You're saying, no, this make or buy parameter itself is wrong. I want to revisit and create it. You may do it. Yeah, there could be a situation. But the question is not indicating that you are dissatisfied with make or buy parameters, or stakeholders are not happy with it, and you are confused by not making only decision based on cost. That struggle is not clear in the question. So when the struggle is not clear, why should I worry about it? Yeah, I definitely follow my procurement management plan, and the procurement management plan is clearly saying, basis your decision based on cost, I go for it. Yeah, so that way I go for option A. Yeah, that's the answer in case of question number 49. So I need to execute my program as per my program management plans. Whatever plans we have made, we need to follow them. Yeah. So question number 50, the final question for this video. So as the program manager of a large infrastructure program, each project under your program is responsible for managing its own procurement activities. Okay. To ensure alignment with the procurement management plan, you decided to conduct a procurement audit. During the audit, you noticed inconsistency in the reporting of vendor performance and non-compliance with predefined contractual term in one of the projects. These discrepancy may impact the overall program outcome. What should you do next? So this question is bringing 2-3 elements. One is that you need to definitely take care of your project managers and grow them, ensure they remain aligned. The another thing is that you need to do some kind of auditing activities frequently. That's another important thing. You need to conduct these kind of audit to find out if there are any gaps, or you need to work with those stakeholders who can conduct those audits. I need to keep eye on it. And the third thing is coming, what do I do when the gaps are there? Yeah. So I need to take a positive approach, but still there is a gap. So let's see what are the options available, and then we will find out as per the comparison of those options. Option A, directly work with the vendor and update the contract to ensure compliance with the procurement management plan. So I don't want to do the job of my project manager. The question is saying the project manager can handle it. So why should I jump into it? Yeah, until unless there is a clear thing where project manager is unwilling to do it. Yeah, probably there is a mistake in my project manager job, but I better fix that mistake and talk to the project manager rather than I start doing his work. I mentor him, coach him, rather than I replace him. That's the first thing. Until unless the question shows that you have mentored him, coached him, and he's not fixable, then you probably do something else. Option B, update the program procurement management plan to address gaps in the current process and reissue the plan to all project teams. So say when I'm doing audit and finding a gap, I don't have to change the benchmark against which I am conducting the audit. That could be a futuristic thing. But first thing, I need to find out why there is a gap. And then I can probably do a lesson learned activity to find out, oh, gap is actually a good gap. Yeah, we probably need to change the reference itself. It's possible. We need to be open and we need to be focusing on growth mindset. But in general, that could be a very late activity. First, I need to find out why there is a gap. I consider my agreement, my audit checklist, my procurement management plan as a good one. Yeah, I don't suspect it until unless very strong case comes out of it by default. So I don't go with the option B. Option C, prepare a procurement audit report. Yes, across the program, highlight non-compliances issues, perform root cause analysis, and coach the project manager on compliance with the procurement management plan. Yes, yeah. So say when something goes wrong, I should be doing this kind of activity. I need to focus on lesson learned. I need to record this thing as a lesson learned. And I need to make sure these lesson learned are learned for the other projects as well. Yeah, so I need to do that activity for sure. And working with the project manager to fix this compliance gap is also a good idea. Let's see option D. Escalate the non-compliance issue to the program governance board for immediate resolution. So say there is a lesson learned, and after that lesson learned, we will do analysis and we'll figure it out. What do we do about it? Yeah. So option C is saying one particular thing which I will do about it. There is a possibility after doing the audit analysis, I may think it's an escalation matter. It's a serious breach. Maybe there is an ethical breach. Then I may go there. Yeah. But directly deciding that this is a serious breach and it requires an escalation, as per my governance plan, I know when I need to escalate. So in case of program management, escalation is not a bad idea, but it should be done as per our governance and agreements, not without that. Yeah. So in general, I should see that if I can do some proper work on it and work with my project manager, and I record this issue in my lesson learned. I'm not letting this issue going under the carpet. We want to make it visible, but at the same time, I'm making sure that I can handle it without escalation. So that way, I would choose C in this particular situation. That's how I think. That's how I created this particular question. And I believe this is the way you should be also thinking as a program manager and also for the PgMP exam. So I will go with C. I will go with proper facts and figures. I will go with proper recognition of this non-compliance, and I will make sure that I work with the project manager. If it's a repetitive event, if the question indicates it has been happening frequently and you have made all this, then I can go for option D. I escalate, yeah, because it also give me a hint that this is crossing the escalation threshold. But by default, at the first point, I don't want to go for escalation. Yeah. So option C. So it's all about consolidating project and program data using predefined program plan, reporting tools and methods, and monitor the overall progress and communicate to the stakeholder. That's a task 22. This is also mapping there. And there is also a task which also talks about a little bit of lesson learned in this particular question. So these were the 10 questions, and we will come up with another set of 10 questions soon. If you missed watching our previous videos, follow the playlist. If you need specific advice related to your own program management certification preparation, connect with us. We can find out customized solution for you also. Many a time people come to us where they tell me that they are done with the application, they are just planning for the exam. Do you have a program which just support that part in a relatively less price? We can find out all those kind of options for you. Connect with us. Our goal is to guide you, mentor you so that you achieve your certification goal faster.